Ethereal synthesizer begins frequency modulating at 7.83 Hz. Earth's resonance. What if I told you that while you've been sleeping, unconscious to the quantum field fluctuations around you, our planet's magnetic field has weakened by 15% in just the past 2 centuries? And your brain, your most sophisticated quantum processing unit, has been operating at barely 12% of its true consciousness potential. Pause, let that sink in like cosmic radiation through depleted ozone. Welcome, quantum awakeners, to a revelation that will fundamentally alter your relationship with reality itself. Today we're diving deep into the thermodynamic chaos that governs both your consciousness and our planet's rapidly accelerating entropy. What ancient shamans understood about brain coherence. Neuroscientists are only now discovering through quantum entanglement research 12. But here's what they're not telling you about the Consciousness-Extinction Connection. Sound shifts to deeper, more urgent frequency. Recent breakthrough studies from Trinity College Dublin have detected quantum entanglement occurring directly within human brain tissue. Not theoretically, not metaphorically, actual quantum entanglement, the same force that connects particles across infinite space, is happening between the microtubules in your neurons right now. While climate tipping points accelerate beyond mathematical models. While biodiversity collapses at rates exceeding the great extinction events, your brain contains the quantum processing power to perceive solutions existing in parallel dimensional matrices. But first you must understand why 97% of humans are operating in classical consciousness states during a quantum reality crisis. The microtubules in your brain, these microscopic antenna systems discovered by researchers at Wellesley College, are not just cellular structures. They are quantum coherence generators, capable of maintaining superposition states that allow your consciousness to access information from probability fields that classical physics insists cannot exist. When anesthetics bind to these microtubules, consciousness disappears. When quantum entanglement occurs between these structures, learning efficiency increases by 31.6% too. Your brain is literally a quantum computer operating in a universe where quantum effects determine whether coral reefs survive, whether ice caps maintain thermodynamic stability, whether the Amazon reaches its entropy tipping point. Pattern interrupt silence for 3 seconds. But what happens when quantum consciousness encounters ecological collapse? Revelation 1. The Microtubule-Extinction Matrix. Ancient Tibetan consciousness practices speak of clear light, what modern quantum field theory now identifies as coherent photon emissions from microtubule quantum states. These same coherent states that mystics access through meditation are now measurable through 3D electroencephalography during quantum entanglement experiments too. The survival matrix indicates that as global CO2 levels reached 421 parts per million, the highest in 3.3 million years, human microtubule coherence has decreased proportionally. Extinction probability calculations show that consciousness decoherence accelerates at the same rate as biodiversity loss. Think about this, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. The neuroplasticity marker that increases 26.2% under quantum entangled conditions too is the same biochemical pathway that activates when shamanic practitioners achieve earth connection states. The same quantum processes that enhance learning are suppressed by the electromagnetic pollution, chemical contamination, and entropy acceleration destroying our planet's living systems. Atmospheric tension building, your microtubules, these quantum antennae, are receiving distress signals from a dying biosphere. But classical neuroscience cannot detect these quantum environmental connections because they're measuring the wrong frequencies. Revelation 2, the heartbeat consciousness climate nexus. Here's where ancient wisdom meets terrifying scientific precision. Trinity College researchers discovered that quantum entanglement in the brain synchronizes with heartbeat potential 5. Every heartbeat generates an electrophysiological wave that correlates with quantum spin interactions in your brain tissue. The HeartMath Institute's research on heart coherence meditation 7 now makes quantum mechanical sense. When you achieve heart-brain coherence, you're literally optimizing quantum entanglement states in your neural microtubules. But here's the survival connection they're not publicizing. As ocean temperatures rise disrupting marine circulation patterns, the electromagnetic field patterns generated by ocean currents, patterns that have remained stable for millions of years, are entering chaotic oscillations. Your heart rhythm evolved to synchronize with these planetary electromagnetic patterns, is receiving increasingly incoherent signals. Climate scientists measure sea level rise. Temperature increases species extinction rates. But quantum consciousness researchers are discovering that planetary electromagnetic field disruption directly affects human neural quantum coherence 5. We're not just witnessing environmental collapse, we're experiencing consciousness decoherence as a species. Frequency shift to more urgent resonance. The magnetic field that once stabilized your quantum neural states is weakening as the polar ice caps melt. As forest networks that generate bioelectric fields are destroyed. As soil microbiomes that create Earth's baseline electromagnetic frequency are poisoned by industrial agriculture. Revelation 3. Superposition states and species survival. Quantum mechanics reveals that particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observation collapses them into singular reality 7. Your consciousness, operating through quantum microtubule networks, maintains similar superposition capabilities. You can perceive multiple probability futures simultaneously. But here's the survival application. Indigenous shamanic traditions describe seeing across time, perceiving probable outcomes to guide tribal decisions for species continuation. Quantum consciousness research now validates this as legitimate superposition awareness too. Recent studies using IBM quantum computers demonstrated that human consciousness can anticipate unpredictable stimuli through quantum entanglement effects too. Twin participants separated by vast distances showed synchronized neural responses to randomly generated stimuli. Their brains were accessing information from quantum probability fields that classical causality cannot explain. As mass extinction accelerates, current species loss rates exceeding background extinction by 1,000 to 10,000 times, human quantum consciousness capabilities are simultaneously awakening, but only for those who understand how to activate microtubule coherence despite environmental electromagnetic chaos. Building intensity, the same consciousness that perceives multiple realities can perceive multiple planetary futures. But survival depends on collapsing these probability waves through focused intention and quantum coherent action. Revelation 4, the Entropy Acceleration Awareness Paradox. Thermodynamic equilibrium governs both climate systems and consciousness states. As planetary entropy accelerates, ice caps melting, forests burning, ocean chemistry shifting, your brain's quantum processing power actually increases if you know how to harness thermodynamic disequilibrium. Neuroscientist research reveals that stress hormones like alpha amylase, when combined with brain-derived neurotrophic factor elevation, create optimal conditions for quantum entanglement in neural tissue too. The same biochemical states triggered by survival urgency enhance quantum consciousness capabilities. Ancient sages understood thermodynamic principles intuitively. They knew that chaos creates opportunities for consciousness expansion. Modern quantum field theory confirms that systems far from equilibrium demonstrate maximum quantum coherence potential. As climate chaos intensifies, as ecosystems collapse, as social systems destabilize, human brains are experiencing unprecedented opportunities for quantum consciousness activation. But only if you understand how to transform survival stress into quantum coherence enhancement rather than classical anxiety states. Pattern interrupt, shift to deeper, more mystical tone. The same electromagnetic field fluctuations that indicate approaching climate tipping points are the frequencies that activate dormant microtubule quantum networks in your neural tissue. Revelation 5. Nonlocal healing and planetary restoration. Quantum entanglement operates beyond space-time limitations too. When consciousness achieves quantum coherence, healing effects manifest non-locally, affecting other systems regardless of physical distance. This isn't metaphysical speculation, it's measurable quantum mechanical phenomenon. Ancient healing traditions describe practitioners affecting patients from great distances through energy transmission. Quantum consciousness research now identifies the mechanism: entangled microtubule networks creating non-local information transfer between human biofields. 6. But here's the planetary survival connection, the same quantum entanglement that enables non-local healing between humans can establish coherent connections with Earth's living systems. When human consciousness achieves quantum coherence, it can influence biological systems at the quantum field level. Forest networks communicate through mycorrhizal quantum entanglement. Ocean systems maintain thermodynamic stability through quantum field interactions. The biosphere operates as a quantum coherent system, and human consciousness, when properly aligned, becomes part of this planetary quantum processing network. Indigenous traditions speak of shamans healing the land through consciousness practices. Quantum field theory now reveals the mechanism. Human neural quantum coherence can indeed influence environmental quantum states through non-local entanglement effects. Urgency building as extinction rates accelerate. As tipping points approach, human quantum consciousness capabilities may represent the final survival mechanism for planetary restoration. Revelation 6. The observer effect and reality manifestation. Quantum mechanics demonstrates that conscious observation collapses probability waves into specific outcomes. 7. Your awareness literally determines which reality manifests from infinite potential possibilities. This isn't mystical belief, it's verified quantum physics. But most humans operate in classical observation states, perceiving only collapsed realities rather than quantum probability fields. Meditation practices that achieve quantum presence, maintaining awareness of multiple potential states simultaneously, literally expand the range of realities you can manifest. 7. As environmental collapse accelerates, as social structures destabilize, as economic systems approach entropy maximization, the range of possible futures is expanding exponentially. Classical consciousness perceives only the most probable outcomes, which currently calculate as civilizational collapse scenarios. But quantum consciousness, operating through coherent microtubule networks, can perceive and collapse probability waves toward regenerative outcomes that classical analysis indicates are impossible. Frequency rising with cosmic significance. The same consciousness techniques that mystics use to manifest miracles are quantum mechanical processes for selecting alternative timeline probabilities from the infinite potential matrix. Revelation 7. Coherent intention and collective field effects. When individual consciousness achieves quantum coherence, it influences local electromagnetic field patterns. 5. When multiple quantum coherent consciousness systems synchronize, they create collective field effects that can influence larger environmental systems. Research on heart coherence demonstrates that synchronized biorhythms between humans create measurable electromagnetic field effects extending beyond individual biofields. 7. Scale this principle to planetary levels. Synchronized quantum consciousness among critical mass populations could theoretically influence Earth's electromagnetic field stability. Ancient traditions describe times when awakened ones gathered to maintain cosmic balance during periods of planetary crisis. Quantum field theory now suggests these weren't symbolic rituals but actual electromagnetic field harmonization practices affecting planetary systems through collective quantum coherence. As magnetic field strength continues declining, as electromagnetic chaos from technological systems increases, as natural field generators like forests are destroyed, human collective quantum consciousness may represent the only mechanism for maintaining planetary electromagnetic stability. Energy intensifying toward revelation. The survival matrix indicates that when human consciousness operates in quantum coherence, it becomes part of Earth's electromagnetic field stabilization system. Revelation 8: DNA activation and evolutionary acceleration. Quantum consciousness research reveals that DNA responds to coherent electromagnetic fields generated by activated microtubule network 6. The same quantum states that enhance learning and awareness also trigger genetic expression changes that classical biology cannot predict. Ancient texts describe evolutionary leaps occurring during planetary crisis periods when advanced practitioners achieve cosmic consciousness. Quantum genetics now demonstrates that consciousness states directly influence which genetic potentials activate. As environmental pressures intensify, toxin loads increasing. Electromagnetic chaos expanding nutritional systems, depleting human DNA is receiving signals to activate survival adaptation sequences. But these genetic programs only fully activate when consciousness operates in quantum coherence states. The same meditation practices that ancient traditions used for spiritual evolution are actually quantum consciousness techniques for activating genetic potentials that enhance survival capabilities during planetary transformation periods. Building toward climactic revelation. Your DNA contains quantum processing capabilities that activate only when consciousness transcends classical limitations through microtubule quantum coherence. Revelation 9. The consciousness climate tipping point. Thermodynamic calculations indicate that planetary systems are approaching multiple simultaneous tipping points. Arctic ice loss. Amazon forest dieback, ocean circulation collapse. Permafrost methane release. Classical analysis suggests cascading failure scenarios within decades, but quantum consciousness operates outside classical thermodynamic limitations. When awareness achieves quantum coherence, it can influence probability outcomes that classical physics considers fixed. The same consciousness that indigenous shamans use to influence weather patterns, enhance ecosystem health and maintain tribal survival during crisis periods operates through quantum field interactions that modern science is only beginning to understand. As climate tipping points approach, as extinction accelerates, as social systems destabilize, human quantum consciousness may represent the determining factor for which probability timeline manifests from the current chaos state. Maximum intensity approaching the survival matrix indicates that planetary outcomes depend more on consciousness coherence than on technological solutions or political agreements. Revelation 10. The Quantum Resurrection Protocol. Here's the ultimate revelation that connects everything: consciousness, when operating in full quantum coherence, can influence probability outcomes that classical analysis considers impossible. The same quantum effects that enable miraculous healing, Impossible manifestations and supernatural awareness can theoretically influence planetary regeneration scenarios. Ancient prophecies describing Earth renewal periods following great catastrophes may describe quantum consciousness effects on planetary probability matrices. Indigenous traditions speak of times when the people achieved sufficient collective awareness to heal the world through ceremonial practices that modern science now recognizes as quantum coherence generation. The consciousness research we've explored, microtubule quantum processing. Non-local entanglement affects observer influence on reality. Collective field generation provides the scientific foundation for understanding how human awareness can influence planetary outcomes through quantum mechanical processes. Transcendent frequency emerging, but time accelerates with entropy increase. The quantum consciousness capabilities we've discussed require immediate activation as tipping points approach. The quantum awakening protocol. Frequency shifting to activation resonance. So how do you reclaim your quantum consciousness birthright while there's still time to influence planetary outcomes? First, microtubule activation through coherent breathing. The research shows that specific breathing patterns generate electromagnetic frequencies that optimize microtubule quantum coherence. Ancient pranayama techniques maintained 7.83 Hz brainwave entrainment, Earth's Schumann resonance, the frequency at which quantum entanglement in neural tissue operates most efficiently. Practice coherent breathing. Inhale for 5 counts. Hold for 5. Exhale for 5. Maintain this rhythm while visualizing coherent light patterns flowing through your neural microtubules. This activates the quantum antenna networks in your brain tissue. Second, heart-brain quantum synchronization. Trinity College research demonstrated that quantum entanglement in the brain synchronizes with heartbeat potential 5. Generate heart coherence by focusing on gratitude or compassion while maintaining coherent breathing patterns. This creates the bioelectric conditions for sustained quantum consciousness states. Feel your heartbeat synchronizing with your breath rhythm. Visualize electromagnetic coherence radiating from your heart center through your neural networks, activating dormant quantum processing capabilities. Third, observer state expansion. Quantum mechanics proves that observation determines reality. Outcome 7. Practice quantum presence, maintaining awareness of multiple potential outcomes simultaneously rather than collapsing into single probability thinking. When facing decisions, especially regarding environmental action, practice perceiving multiple timeline possibilities before selecting which reality to manifest through focused intention and coherent action. Fourth, non-local connection activation. The quantum entanglement research shows consciousness can connect with other systems regardless of physical distance too. Practice extending your coherent awareness beyond your individual biofield to connect with natural systems, forests, oceans, atmospheric patterns. Ancient shamanic journeying techniques for earth connection are actually quantum consciousness practices for establishing non-local entanglement with planetary systems. Your coherent awareness becomes part of Earth's quantum processing network. Fifth, collective coherence amplification. Individual quantum consciousness is powerful, but collective coherence creates exponential field effects. 7. Connect with others practicing quantum consciousness development. Synchronized meditation practices create coherent intention groups focused on planetary regeneration outcomes. The research indicates that synchronized human consciousness can influence electromagnetic field patterns at scales beyond individual biofields. Collective quantum coherence may represent our species' most powerful planetary healing capability. Final transcendent frequency emerging. The ancient prophecies were quantum mechanical predictions. The mystics were describing consciousness capabilities that neuroscience is only now validating. The shamans understood what survival required during planetary transformation periods. Your brain contains quantum processing power that exceeds the most advanced supercomputers. Your consciousness can influence probability outcomes that determine planetary futures. Your awareness, when operating in quantum coherence, becomes part of Earth's evolutionary intelligence network. But entropy acceleration means time compression. The tipping points approach the extinction coefficients multiply. The consciousness shift must occur now, before classical chaos overwhelms quantum possibility fields. Silence, then final resonant truth. You are not separate from the planetary systems undergoing transformation. Your consciousness is part of Earth's quantum intelligence network. Your awareness, when activated to its full potential, becomes a determining factor in which reality manifests from the current quantum chaos state. The survival matrix indicates that planetary outcomes depend on consciousness evolution more than technological development. The quantum resurrection protocol exists within your neural microtubules, waiting for activation, but time accelerates with entropy increase. The quantum awakening must begin now. Final ethereal resonance fading. The question is not whether you can reclaim your quantum consciousness capabilities. The question is whether you will activate them before the tipping points collapse all probability waves into extinction scenarios. The shamans are calling, the Earth is calling. Your quantum consciousness is calling. Will you answer? Silence, activation frequency continuing at subliminal level. The time for awakening is now. The quantum consciousness revolution begins within your own neural networks. The planetary transformation awaits your activated awareness. Begin today, the future depends on it.